Christianity is stupid. So this is going to be a video on how Christianity is stupid. So there's so many different ways to start this video, so I don't know. First of all, Christianity is stupid. Shall I tell you why? It's because, first of all, because there's so many different ways to start this video, but to begin with, right, you have to understand that the Bible has contradictions in it, and this is very demonstrably true, that the Bible has contradictions and problems like that in it. The Bible has contradictions in it and stuff like that. The Bible has contradictions, and this is very demonstrably true. And there's so many different examples of this, right? Specifically, if you read the Gospels, for Jesus, there's two different genealogies, like, right, for Jesus in the Gospels and stuff. That's like one of the clearest contradictions. And of course, if you want, like, there's also a guy that I'm going to mention. His name is Bart D. Ehrman. And you have to kind of research about this person called Bart D. Ehrman. And he's kind of like some type of author, and he kind of critiques the Bible and the New Testament and stuff. He's kind of like a scholar of the Bible and stuff like that. He's like very credible and stuff like that. And I'll just, if you really want like a very thorough like debunking of Christianity, I would highly suggest you look up someone called Bart D. Ehrman. So again, how would you spell that then? So Bart D. Ehrman, that'll be B-A-R-T, Bart, and then D, just the letter D, and then Ehrman, E-R-H-M-A-N. I think that's how you would spell his name. Ehrman or Ehrman. Bart D. Ehrman. Or would it be E-H-R-A-M-N? I don't know. Bart D. Ehrman. You should find someone like this on Google or on YouTube and stuff. If you just type this type of name in, Bart D. Ehrman. So Bart again, B-A-R-T, Bart, and then the letter D, and then Ehrman, E-R-H-M-A-N, Ehrman, or it might be some other type of way, or it might be E-R-M-H-A-N. I don't know. I'm kind of lost on a second. I can't really remember off the top of my head. But Bart D. Ehrman, this guy, he wrote a bunch of different books on Christianity specifically. He just kind of specialize in he just kind of specialize, well, what do I mean by specialize? He's like well researched on the Bible and Christianity, etc., the history of Christianity, like how the Bible and stuff like that, the history of the Bible. And so Bart D. Ehrman, this guy is super important to know about if you want to like properly understand Christianity and the Bible and blah 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 and stuff like this. So yeah, Bart D. Ehrman, go through all of his literature. He wrote a bunch of different books. He's someone I would highly recommend you kind of do some research on. He made again a bunch of different books on obviously on the topic of Christianity and the Bible and etc. and stuff like that. He really nails it, man. I'm telling you, he wrote a bunch of different books. If you go through his books, he just nails it, man. He proves conclusively that the Bible has contradictions, that the Bible is not trustworthy, that the Bible has been somewhat kind of corrupted, etc. and stuff like this, and it somewhat fabricated as well, that the Bible is not reliable in any meaningful way. Bart D. Ehrman kind of nails this, man. I wish I could remember how to spell his last name. I swear, Bart D. Ehrman. So that'll be B-A-R-T, Bart, and then D, the letter D, and then Ehrman, E-R-H-M-A-N. I believe that's how you would spell it, although I'm not too sure about that. But Bart D. Ehrman, man, his literature just completely destroys Christian theology. He demolishes Christian theology like no one else. That's why I would highly recommend you kind of do some research on this guy. He made a bunch of different lectures on YouTube as well, man. Yeah, he completely demolishes Christian theology. He completely proves conclusively that the Bible is corrupted. It's not trustworthy. It's not reliable at all. Bart D. Ehrman, do some research on this guy, man. He completely demolishes Christian theology and Christianity and the validity of the Bible and etc. and stuff like this. He proves conclusively that Christianity is not. It's basically a sham. It's a sham. The Bible has contradictions and is corrupted. It's not reliable. He proves all of this. So do some research on someone called Bart D. Ehrman. I highly recommend you do some research on this guy and go through all of his different literature and different books on the topic of Christianity and the Bible and etc. He wrote a bunch of different books. Type his name in and type in books, Jesus and stuff like that. He talks a lot about that type of thing and stuff, and Christianity and the Bible. Bart D. Ehrman, super important. But again, Okay, is that it? No, obviously not. Christianity is stupid for a variety of different reasons. Again, you know, because I said that the Bible has contradictions and etc. And obviously it's going to be kind of a mouthful for me to kind of explain to you all of the different types of contradictions in the Bible, so I'm not going to do that in this video. It will just be kind of too time consuming, too frustrating, too annoying, and it would be very difficult to understand. But there are like a bunch of different websites. If you type in Bible contradictions on Google, you should find a bunch of different like websites that can kind of guide you through what I'm talking about and etc. and stuff like that. And again, I mentioned the example of the fact that you know, in the Gospels, Jesus has 2 different genealogies. His lineage goes to different people depending on which Gospel you read and stuff. You know, that's one of the clearest contradictions to understand. That's why I'm using it like as a very basic level example to kind of help you understand what I'm trying to say and talk about, and to kind of help prove that, you know, the Bible does in fact have contradictions. It's not reliable in any meaningful way. So yeah, the Bible has contradictions, man. That's why Christianity is stupid. How can you even consider Christianity if the Bible has contradictions? It's so insane. It's so stupid, man. That's why, you know, but then again, Christianity is stupid. That's why, you know, Christianity is kind of dying out, I believe. Obviously, there are still some types of Christians left and stuff like that, and some believers, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, Christianity is not really what it used to be, you know what I mean? It's kind of sort of becoming irrelevant, I don't know, in a lot of different ways. But, you know, Christianity is stupid. It is very, very, very stupid. Again, I'm going to bring up the name Bart D. Ehrman again. Bart D. Ehrman, B-A-R-T-D, and then so that's how you would spell his name, Bart, B-A-R-T, and then the letter D, and then Ehrman. That's so tricky for me, man. I can't, off the top of my head, remember how to spell his last name. Ehrman. It was E-H-R-M-A-N. Ehrman, or is it E-R-M-H-A-N? Ehrman. I cannot remember how to spell his last name off the top of my head. I swear, man, it's so frustrating. I forgot about it. I had to forget about it right now while I'm filming this video about Christianity. But, you know, Bart D. Ehrman, that guy, he demolishes Christian theology like no one else, man. Go through all his different books. He made a bunch of different lecture videos on YouTube that you can check out, and I highly recommend you check it out. Check out all of his different lecture videos on Christianity. Man, Christianity is stupid. It's super, super, super stupid, man. I'm telling you, man. You don't have to just take my word for it. Go on this guy. His name is Bart D. Ehrman, man. Do research about him. Go through his different lecture videos, buy his books, study everything he has to say and all of his like literature and etc. And you would be fully convinced that Christianity is just a bunch of nonsense. It's stupid. Christianity is stupid. It's I would consider it like to be the dumbest religion. Because, you know, the Bible has contradictions, and that's demonstrable. Again, I use the example of the fact that, you know, Jesus, he has 2 different genealogies in the Gospels. His lineage goes through different people, and you know why this is a problem? You know, supposedly the Gospel authors, they were like contemporaries of Jesus. But if they were contemporaries, if they were like reliable eyewitnesses, why are they giving different pieces of information regarding Jesus's life and his especially his genealogy and lineages and stuff like that? That proves that the Gospel authors were not reliable at all. They were giving different pieces of information out regarding Jesus, regarding his life, regarding his genealogy and etc. and things like this. These very important pieces of information. They were disagreeing with the different Gospel authors. They were disagreeing with each other in this regard. That proves that the Gospel authors are not reliable, man. That proves it. You know, the fact that Jesus has 2 different genealogies in the Gospels, that proves that the Gospel authors, they were not contemporaries of Jesus. They were writing probably at different time periods, or maybe, I don't know, maybe the Gospel authors weren't even real people. Maybe these different accounts of Jesus, they came in different time periods by different people and etc. It's so impossible, man. The Christianity is so stupid, man. If you dig deep into its like kind of into the history of Christianity, into like the sort of the into sort of the history of the Bible, if you kind of study like a lot of the background on Christianity, a lot of the background information on Christianity, you would quickly and very obviously see that Christianity is just nonsense, man. I'm telling you, it's so stupid. Christianity is stupid. Again, Bart D. Ehrman, I'm going to mention him a lot throughout this entire video because he's so important, man. Bart D. Ehrman is so super important, man. To know about the guy, Bart D. Ehrman, he demolishes Christian theology like no one else, man. I'm telling you, man, I swear he demolishes Christian theology. He wrote a bunch of different books on Christian theology, on the topic of the Bible, on Christianity, on the topic of Jesus, etc. Things like this. Go through all of his literature, or go through his different lecture videos on Christianity and the Bible and Jesus and etc. and stuff. You'll be fully convinced. You would be fully convinced that Christianity is just nonsense. After you study through a lot of his work, his literature, a lot of his lecture videos and etc. and stuff like that, you gotta go through his videos, man. You gotta go through his videos, you gotta go through his books, you gotta do a lot of research on this guy called Bart Ehrman. Again, I'll quickly spell out his name for you if you're having problems like understanding who I'm talking about. Bart, so that's the name Bart, like, so that'll be B-A-R-T, Bart, and then the letter D-D, and then Ehrman, E-R-H-M-A-N. Oh, I don't know, I'm kind of lost on his on his last name. I'm having a ton of problems on his last name, remembering it properly. But if you type that type of name in onto Google or onto YouTube or onto something similar like this, you should find this guy called Bart Ehrman, man. He demolishes Christian theology, man. He proves that the Bible has contradictions. He made a bunch of different lecture videos on the topic of Christianity, on the topic of Jesus, man. He proves that the Bible and Christianity is just a bunch of nonsense, man. I swear, you gotta research about this guy called Bart Ehrman. He's very important, man. If you want to properly understand Christianity and stuff in the history of the Bible and etc., you gotta understand and kind of know about this guy called Bart D. Ehrman, man. He's so important, and I cannot stress it enough, man, that you must research about this guy called Bart D. Ehrman if you want to properly understand Christianity, and if you want to kind of understand why Christianity, once you properly understand Christianity, you'll know that Christianity is just nonsense. It's a stupid religion. The Bible has contradictions and stuff. That's not good enough, man. That's not good enough. Again, I use the example of the fact that Jesus has 2 different genealogies in the Gospels. You cannot, this is indisputable. This is literally factual, that the fact that the different Gospels provide different genealogies for Jesus and stuff in his lineage and etc. It goes to different people depending on which Gospel you read. Again, a lot of Christians would say that the Gospel authors, they're reliable and etc. and stuff, and they were eyewitnesses. If they were eyewitnesses and they were reliable and they were contemporaries of Jesus, why do they give different pieces of information out regarding Jesus's life? Why do the Gospels disagree on like who Jesus is related to and etc. and stuff like this? It's so ridiculous, man. Christianity is such a stupid religion, man. I'm telling you, the Bible has contradictions. You know, that's not good enough, obviously. How can that be the word of God? It's so stupid. If the Bible has contradictions, that's like very insulting. Obviously, to kind of, you know, this is good to kind of compare Christianity to Islam. I don't believe the Quran has any type of major contradictions, especially like very obvious contradictions are demonstrably true. Obviously, a lot of people watching this video are going to disagree with me and stuff. And if you do disagree with me, just in the comment section, just post like the contradictions in the Quran. It's literally, I cannot remember any type of major contradictions off the top of my head, but you might disagree, and so post it in the comment section, you know. But compared to again, for the Bible has contradictions. That's demonstrably true. And again, I use the example of the fact that Jesus has 2 different genealogies. Again, in the Gospels, you can do some research on this. Type in Jesus different genealogies, Gospels, blah blah blah, onto Google, and you'll kind of get a more thorough explanation on what I'm talking about, man. Christianity is stupid. It's very, very stupid. Christianity is stupid. It's so stupid, man. I cannot stress this enough, man. Again, Bart Ehrman, I'm going to bring his name up a lot in this video, man. Go and research about this guy called Bart Ehrman. Go through all his literature, go through all his different lecture videos, go through everything he has to say, and all of the literature he's wrote and made, and etc. Man, he demolishes Christian theology like no one else, man. He does it so perfectly. I cannot stress him enough, man. You must do research on this guy called Bart Ehrman. Oh, it's chilly as hell, man. I've got to fight through this cold and keep making this video. Bart Ehrman, man, he's super important. He demolishes Christian theology like no one else, man. You must research about this guy called Bart Ehrman. He will fully convince you that Christianity is just a bunch of nonsense, that the Bible is just a bunch of nonsense, man. He demolishes Christian theology like no one else. You gotta do some research on this guy called Bart Ehrman, man. I'm telling you. You gotta do some research on this guy. You gotta do some research on this guy called Bart Ehrman, man. I'm telling you, man. He demolishes Christian theology like no one else. He's a very important person. He's a very important person to know about. That's why I'm mentioning him and bringing him up in this video a lot, because he demolishes Christian theology like no one else. There's also other types of people that kind of attempt to kind of prove that the Bible has contradictions and is corrupted and blah 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 blah, and that Christianity is kind of nonsense. But a lot of these other people, they're not as academic as Bart Ehrman. That's why I have to really stress him a lot in this video. He is so important, man. You must research about this guy called Bart Ehrman. His work, he just demolishes Christian theology like no one, like nothing else, man. I swear. He demolishes Christian theology, man. I swear. He's like super important for this. Oh, damn. super important. There's other people, but they're not as academic as Bart D. Ehrman. He properly demolishes Christian theology, man. He does it like no one else. That's why he's so important to know about, man. Christianity is stupid. The Bible has contradictions. Again, I use the example of the fact that, you know, that in the Gospels they provide two different genealogies for Jesus. That's not good enough. Even though, again, supposedly the gospel authors, they were reliable contemporary eyewitnesses of Jesus' life, but why do they give different pieces of information out regarding Jesus' life and his genealogy and who he's related to and stuff? That's not really good enough, is it? Nope. No, of course that's not good enough. You'd have to be a literal moron to kind of ignore this. Right? A lot of Christians just turn a blind eye to a lot of this, like a lot of what I'm mentioning and talking about and claiming and etc. They just turn a blind eye and just kind of ignore all of the different problems that the Bible has. Also, it's supposedly, the Christian God, etc., is all loving, all merciful, all caring, blah, 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 blah. He's all loving, all of this type of stuff. He's all loving, etc. This is what a lot of Christians will say. But if you go through the Old Testament, the biblical God literally sends bears to kill small children. Look, there's this verse in the Old Testament. It's 2 Kings 2:24 or 2:23. 2 Kings 2:24 or 2:23. 2 Kings 2:24 and 2:23. Kings, Kings, if you might have problems understanding what I'm talking about. Kings, Kings, 2 Kings, so second, the number 2, second, and then Kings, Kings, and then 2, the number 2, and then, like, there's gonna be like 2 dots, and then 2, and then, no, not 2, just 2, 4. So I'm kind of all over the place. Let me kind of, so, supposedly the Christian God's all loving, he cares about us and he loves us and etc. blah blah blah. But in the Old Testament, in 2 Kings 2:4, so that's 2 Kings, so 2 and then Kings and then 2 and then 2 dots and then 2:4. Put that into Google and you'll come across this like little tale in the Old Testament where it was like Prophet Elisha, whatever, a bunch of kids insulted him for being bold or something similar to this. I don't know the exact details. I can't bring it off the top of my head too quickly right now, etc. blah 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 blah. And well, essentially what happened was someone like Prophet Elijah called out to God or Yahweh, the biblical God, the Old Testament God, Yahweh or Jehovah or whatever, blah blah blah. And the biblical God, Yahweh, Jehovah, the Old Testament God, he sent like bears to maul these small children to death, man. The biblical God literally kills small children in the Old Testament. That's so insane, man. That's, again, 2 Kings 2:4. Do some research on that verse. So 2, then Kings, and then 2, and then 2 dots, and then 2:4. 2 Kings 2:4. Put that into Google, man, or put that into YouTube or something. You'll come across this like tale in the Old Testament where the biblical God literally uses bears to maul small children to death. That's so insane. Of course, there's plenty of other problems like this in the Old Testament. Like the biblical God is a very bloody God, man. I'm telling you, he kills quite a lot of people, man. You just gotta read the Old Testament a lot. Like a lot of Christians don't even read through the Bible even once in the entire Bible, at least even once. That's why like, a lot of Christians, they just kind of were raised in a Christian family, and it's just a kind of is more like cultural and traditional for them and stuff like that. They don't really care about properly studying Christianity and like kind of seeing if it's actually a true religion or if it's like a religion that's trustworthy or reliable or is actually factual or anything like this. They don't care about this, man. They were just kind of raised in like some type of Christian household, Christian, like it's just a part of their family and stuff like that. It's a part of their family and their history and their cultural background and stuff. And so they're Christians like this on paper and stuff, but they don't really properly even study Christianity. A lot of Christians are like this. They don't even properly study Christianity. It's so ridiculous to me, man. I'm telling you, Christianity is stupid. Do some proper research onto Christianity. Cool birds. Do some proper research onto Christianity and you'll be fully convinced that it's just a nonsense religion, that the Bible has contradictions and it's just not trustworthy or reliable or anything like this. You must. Oh, again, I can't stress this enough. Look into someone called Bart D. Ehrman. He completely demolishes Christian theology, man. Like no one else. He's so academic about it. His books are so well researched and made and etc. I can't stress him enough. Bart D. Ehrman. I'm gonna spell his name out again because that's how important he is. So Bart, B-A-R-T, D, the letter D, and then Ehrman, E-R-H-M-A-N. Off the top of my head, I can't remember how to properly spell his last name, but you type that into Google or into YouTube. Go and do some research about this guy called Bart D. Ehrman. He demolishes Christian theology like no one else, man. I'm telling you. And what else was I talking about? Oh yeah, the biblical God is a very bloody God. You know what I mean? the Christians, they claim that, you know, that Yahweh, Jehovah, that the biblical God is all loving, and he cares about us, and he loves us to death, and etc., and he loves us to pieces. He would never harm us. But you go read the Old Testament. There's so many different tales in the Old Testament where the biblical God literally kills like small children. Like, again, look into into this like verse, 2 Kings 2:24. So that's 2 Kings 2 and then dots and then 2:4, 2 Kings 2:24. Do like put that into Google, and you'll come across like this tale in the Old Testament where, you know, there was a bunch of kids and they insulted the prophet Elijah, I believe. I can't remember the exact details off the top of my head. So if I get anything wrong, don't get too angry at me, alright? But, you know, anyway, I'm come on, you know, again, prophet Elijah, blah blah blah. Some kids insulted him for being bold, blah 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 blah. And then Prophet Elijah called out to Yahweh, to Adonai, to Jehovah, blah blah blah, to the God, to the biblical God of the Old Testament, blah blah blah. And what did the biblical God of the Old Testament do? The biblical God of the Old Testament sent bears to maul these small children to death for something so petty. These kids they just made fun of the Prophet Elijah for being bold, and they got mauled to death by small bears. If you even believe that, you know, that this type of tale is even like historical, if it's not just like some type of mythology that was made up by Bronze Age people in the Middle East. Anyway. And Christianity is stupid. I cannot stress this enough, man. I swear, it's so ridiculous. I always see, you know, when I'm on YouTube, I always see like a bunch of different Christians trying to like preach their religion. It's so stupid. How would you preach such a stupid religion, man? I'm telling you, the Bible has contradictions. Oh, a lot of Christians might come at me and disagree. Go and again, this guy, I can't stress him enough, because I cannot explain to you all of the different types of contradictions in the Bible in such a thorough, precise way, because it will be a mouthful, and this video will be 2 hours long. So that's why I have to kind of give you like, again, like some type of basic level explanations and stuff like that, and kind of just advise you to do more research on your own, to kind of dig into like your own like research and stuff like that, to do all the heavy lifting. And I can't just do it all for you in this one video, man. It's impossible. Bart D. Ehrman, man, he demolishes Christian theology. So the Bart D. Ehrman, that's the name. So Bart, B-A-R-T, Bart, D, the letter D, and then Ehrman, E-R-H-M-A-N. I can't spell his name properly, his last name. You might have to recheck that, I don't know. But if you type something like this into Google, you should come across a guy, and then this guy, he should be like a New Testament scholar type of guy, I don't know. He demolishes Christian theology, man, like no one else. It's so important, man, that you do some research on this guy called Bart D. Ehrman. That you do some research on this guy called Bart D. Ehrman, man. He's so important. He's so important. You must research about this guy, man. If you're a Christian and you might like disagree with what I'm saying, you have to do some research on this guy. Go through all his different lecture videos, go through all his different literature pieces and etc., and all the different books he made and wrote. You must. You have to do some research on this guy, man. You have to do some research on this guy called Bart D. Ehrman, man. He's so important. I can't stress it enough. I can't stress it enough, man. This guy is so important, man. A lot of Christians are gonna get very kind of very frustrated with me and his stuff. The Bible has contradictions. Like, Christianity is stupid. What yours being kind of like yours being kind of like mean and stuff, and like kind of harsh and nasty, and you're not really talking about anything that's factual. Go and look into this guy called Bart D. Ehrman. He demolishes Christian theology. He's very academic about this. He doesn't use any type of ad hominem attack, so he doesn't make any other type of petty arguments against Christian theology. He properly demolishes it. He goes over all of the historical information regarding Christianity and why the Bible is not reliable at all, and why the gospel offers or not eyewitnesses and contemporaries and etc. and stuff like this. He demolishes Christian theology like no one else. That's why it's so important that you do some research on this guy called Bart D. Ehrman. He's super important, man. I cannot recommend him enough, and that's why I have to really stress him in this video. Oh yeah, also, you know, again, the Bible has a ton of problems, man. I'm telling you, contradictions. Also, the biblical, like, you know, the Christian God supposedly is like a very all-loving God, but he's very bloody in the Old Testament. That's kind of weird. You can just, again, like write genocides in the Bible, and you should come across on Google and stuff like that, and you can find like an endless list of like genocides, atrocities in the Old Testament, in the Bible, and etc. and stuff. I don't have to kind of explain to you like the exact like kind of like all of the information regarding this, because it will be like a mouthful again, and it will kind of take up too much time on this video. But yeah, man, the biblical God is very bloody. That's so weird. Even though he's supposed to be all loving, he's very bloody in the Old Testament. That's so weird, man. He does a lot of nasty things in the Old Testament. It's kind of bizarre to me why anyone would even kind of respect the biblical Christian God. It's kind of, anyway, but you know, again, a lot of Christians are just kind of, they were kind of raised in a Christian family. It's kind of a part of their cultural background, and a lot of like, it's kind of, it's like a part of their tradition. It's more of like traditional for them and stuff like that. You know, like how Indians in India, they're born as Hindus. They're a part, they're Hindus, and they believe in Hinduism and stuff like that. But Hinduism, obviously, a lot of them are not like, they might not be fully convinced in that Hinduism is like a true religion, but it's a part of their cultural background and history and traditions and stuff like that, and that's why they're a part of this type of religion, because it fits their history and stuff like that, and it fits their background and their culture, their cultural background and stuff like that, and their traditional background, etc. and stuff like this. That's why they're Hindus and stuff like that. And this is like the case with a lot of different world religions. Like people, they're not really, they might not even believe in the religion they were like properly they were raised in, but it's just a part of their background now. It's a part of their cultural background and stuff, their traditions and stuff like that, and so they just keep that religion on them and stuff. You know, Jews and stuff like that, Judaism is very, it's kind of like an ethno religion, right? It's not really, it's kind of, there's like a ethnic component to like this type of religious community. Like to be Jewish, it's like somewhat, it's kind of like a fusion of like, to be like, it's like a type of ethnicity, but it's also some type of religion, and it's kind of like in a mix of that type of thing. Like, you know, Jewish, a lot of Jews, they might not necessarily believe in Judaism, but it is a part of their cultural background and their traditions and history and stuff. That's why they maintain that religion and they keep it on them and stuff like that. You know, the same thing with Christians. Again, Christians are just raised to be Christians. It's a part of their history and family and stuff like that, and it's been a part of their family and traditions and culture and history for so long that they have to keep the religion on them, because it would be somewhat disrespectful just to get rid of it and just kind of abandon their history and traditions and culture and stuff like this. So, you know, I believe that's why a lot of Christians are Christians. It's a part of their background and history and traditions and stuff like that. That's why they still keep the religion on them, even though all the modern, like, up-to-date information regarding Christianity, it kind of debunks it. It kind of, all the like the academic knowledge that we have on Christianity, it kind of heavily points to the fact that Christianity is nonsense, it's stupid. Again, I would recommend you do some research on someone called Bart D. Ehrman if you might have any type of disagreements. Go through his lecture videos. I cannot explain to you all the different, like, very precise, like arguments. I cannot explain to you like all the different problems in the Bible and why, and all the different types of contradictions and stuff like this. It will be a mouthful, and it will take so much time on this video, man. This video will be like 8 hours long if I did that. So I have to just recommend you people to kind of look into and stuff, and I have to just give you like these very basic level explanations and easy to understand examples. Again, the Bible has contradictions. You might disagree, but look, the Bible, Jesus has 2 different genealogies in the Gospels. That's indisputable. That's factual. That cannot be argued against, because there's different people. His lineage goes to different people in the Gospels. In the different Gospels, the different Gospels provide different genealogies for Jesus. You cannot argue against this, man. It's factual. You can do research on this on Google. You'll find out what I'm talking about. Just type in Jesus different genealogies and stuff, and you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll get better like understanding and stuff. It's more, you'll see like all the different names and like the different genealogies and different lineages for Jesus in the different Gospels and stuff. This is a contradiction, and it cannot be argued against. The Bible has contradictions, man. Again, there was so many other types of contradictions in the Bible, but it'll be a mouthful. It'll be like a mouthful to explain all of this. It'll be like a mouthful to explain all of this, man. It'll be like a mouthful to explain all of these different types of contradictions in the Bible. It'll be like a mouthful to explain all of these different contradictions in the Bible, and it'll take up too much time. That's why I have to be I have to just recommend you people, and I have to kind of give you these very basic level explanations and stuff like that. I have to give you like these I have to just recommend you people and give you these basic level explanations and stuff like that. I have to give you like these very basic level explanations. Damn, man, it's cold, it's chilly as hell, man. It's December, it's the end of the year, I'm freezing. I'm chilly as hell, I'm freezing, man. My hands are cold as hell. Oh, yeah, but the Christianity is stupid. The Bible has contradictions. That's factual. You cannot. That's indisputable. You cannot argue against that. And it's the fact that the Bible has contradictions, man. The Christianity is stupid. Again, Bart D. Ehrman, that's someone I would highly recommend you do some research on, man. I cannot stress him enough. Bart D. Ehrman is very important to understand. He's very important to know about, etc., regarding Christianity and the Bible and the topic of Jesus and all of these types of things, man. He's so important, man. You must have some type of understanding on Bart D. Ehrman and do some research on this guy. Again, I'll spell his name out for you. Bart, so B-A-R-T, then the letter D, and then Ehrman, E-R-H-M-A, and I might have misspelled his last name. Again, I can't remember it properly off the top of my head. Again, he will just demolish Christian theology. If you go through his books, you'll be fully convinced that Christianity is just nonsense, that the Bible is corrupted, it's not reliable, that the gospel offers were not contemporaries and eyewitnesses, and they're not reliable, and etc., etc., etc. Again, and he will also explain to you all the other types of contradictions in the Bible, and you can go on his lecture videos on YouTube as well. Again, I cannot explain to you like all the different types of contradictions in the Bible in this video. It'll be a mouthful and it'll just take up too much time, etc. Now, I don't want this video to be 8 hours long, so I'll have to just give you, again, I have to be very brief and frank and stuff like this. I have to just recommend you people and give you like easy to understand examples. Yeah, and give you like very basic level explanations, etc. Damn, it's so chilly, man. I swear it's so cold, man. It's so chilly, man. I swear. Yeah, but Bart D. Ehrman, look into that guy, man. He demolishes Christian theology like no one else. Go through all his different books, go through all his different lecture videos. He will just he nails it. He's so academic about it as well. A lot of Christians are obviously going to be very contentious and angry at me and stuff like this, but I don't care. Christianity is stupid. It's a stupid religion. The Bible has contradictions. That's not good enough, man. I have to be like this, man. I have to be like somewhat kind of cutthroat. I don't know. I have to be like I have to just say things as they are. You know what I mean? The Bible has contradictions, man. That's not good enough. Christianity is stupid. It's a stupid religion, man. I have to say it. I have to do it. I have to kind of say this and stuff. I cannot like censor my actual thoughts. Damn, man, it's so cold. It's so freezing, man. It's December. It's the end of the year. That's why it's so cold out. That's why it's so freezing and cold, man. I swear I'm shivering, man. Damn. I have to just say it as it is. Christianity is stupid. A lot of Christians are going to be contentious and angry, blah 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 blah, and they're gonna try and argue against what I'm saying. But look into Bart D. Ehrman. Go through all his different books. Go through all his different lecture videos. He's very academic about this. I cannot explain to you all the different types of contradictions in the Bible and all the different problems in the Bible in this video. And be very precise and careful and stuff, because it will be a mouthful and it will take again too much time on this video. This video will be 8 hours long. That's why I have to just recommend you people and stuff. Bart D. Ehrman, man, he's so important, super important, man. He demolishes Christian theology. You must know about this guy's name, and you have to go through his work and stuff in his lecture videos and etc. and stuff. He will just demolish Christian theology for you. Damn. A lot of Christians are going to be very upset and angry and etc. But I don't care, man. I don't care. Christianity is stupid. The Bible has contradictions. That's not good enough, man. I don't care if you're angry. I don't care if you're contentious. I don't care if you disagree. If you might be very hateful towards me regarding this. I don't care, because Christianity is stupid. I have to keep saying it over and over again. The Bible has contradictions. Bart D. Ehrman kind of conclusively proves this and stuff. There is no argument here. Christianity is stupid. You must research about this guy called Bart D. Ehrman. It's freezing, man. It's freezing out here, man. It's cold as hell. It's freezing, man. I swear, it's the end of the year. It's December, man. It's so cold. I can't even feel my hands properly. Man. It's freezing out here, yo. It's cold as hell, man, I swear, yo. Anyway, Bart D. Ehrman, man, he demolishes Christian theology. The Bible has contradictions. Again, Jesus has different genealogies in the Gospels, man. That cannot be argued against. You can do some research on this. Just go on Google, type in Jesus has different genealogies in the Gospels. Use something like this, you'll find out what I'm talking about. There's so many other types of problems with the Bible. There's like an endless list of problems with the Bible. It's so insane that there are people still even consider Christianity. They even consider it to be like something that's trustworthy and reliable. They place like their faith in Christianity. It's so ridiculous to me, man. Oh, it's freezing cold. Damn it, man. I'm shivering. I'm literally shaking in my boots, man. I swear. It's so insane to me that people would even consider Christianity. They would even consider it to be like to be like trustworthy and etc. They'll place their faith in Christianity. Is so ridiculous to me. Christianity is stupid. I don't care if if you're going to be contentious and angry at me and hateful towards me. I don't care about that, because I'm just going to say the truth as it is. Christianity is stupid. The Bible has contradictions. It's corrupted. It's not reliable, man. Bart D. Ehrman proves this, man. And go on and research about him. Again, Bart D. Ehrman, B-A-R-T. So that's Bart and then D, the letter D, and then Ehrman, E-R-H-M-A-N, Ehrman, Bart D. Ehrman. I might have misspelled his last name, but I don't care. Do some research on this guy, man. He proves that Christianity is nonsense. He demolishes Christian theology. He's super academic about this, so you can't like really complain about anything in that regard. I don't know. Christianity is stupid. It's just it's so insane to me that people place their faith in Christianity, in a religion that's so like kind of, it's like so stupid. I don't know. I can't explain it in any other type of way, man. I swear. The Bible has like an endless list of contradictions. It's just so insane to me, man. That people would even consider Christian theology. They would even consider Christianity. It's just bizarre to me, man. A lot of people are not even that intellectually gifted, I guess. I don't know. They cannot see through Christianity. They cannot see that it's just a nonsense religion, that the Bible has contradictions and is corrupted in so many different ways. And they cannot see how bloody the biblical God is, even though the Christian gods claim to be loving and caring and stuff like this. He's a very bloody God. The biblical God is like super bloody. He commits a lot of different atrocities in the Old Testament. It's just bizarre to me. Like, a lot of Christians cannot see this and stuff. They cannot see like the truth regarding Christianity. It's just bizarre to me, man. They just rather stay ignorant, I guess. I don't know. They'd rather stay ignorant. Damn, my camera shut off while I was trying to finish filming that video. That video anyway. Yeah, Christianity is stupid. It's very, very stupid. And the Bible has contradictions in it. The Bible is filled with just a bunch of nonsense. Ooh. So stupid, super stupid. Christianity is stupid. Let me see. Yup. Christianity is stupid. I don't really have to say a lot on this now. Yeah, man. You can just kind of do your own research on this. I don't know. Christianity is stupid, man. Super dumb. Super dumb. The second book of the Kings. I don't know. There we go. Christianity is stupid. Man, I don't really have a lot more to say. I think I pretty much covered all the points that I wanted to bring up in this video. But you know, Bart D. Ehrman is super duper, very super duper important. He's a very important guy you need to like research about. Yeah, the Bible has contradictions, that's very obvious. Look at this. the Bible has contradictions. That's obviously true. You cannot argue against this. You know, again, in the Gospels, Jesus has two different genealogies in the Gospels. The Bible, it's a bunch of nonsense. It's filled with contradictions, man, I'm telling you. And look, I actually have the Bible in my hands. I'm not just kind of giving you like some type of stupid opinion on this. I actually have read the Bible very carefully and properly, man. I read it from Genesis all the way to the book of Revelation. So I've read the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation, from the book of Genesis to the book of Revelation twice. I read it. I read this 2 times over. I can tell you that it's a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of nonsense. I read it 2 times over, man. I'm telling you, it's a bunch of nonsense. And if you're a Christian and you might disagree, I'd encourage you to read the Bible at least 2 times over, just like how I did it again from Genesis all the way to the book of Revelation. I don't know, that's if you're reading the Protestant Bible. I don't know which type of Bible I have. I have the King James Version here. If you're reading the King James Version, I know there's a bunch of other versions of the Bible, but you know, for the King James Version, I don't know, the standard, I don't know, King James Version, the book of Revelation is the last book, and the first book is the book of Genesis. So the book of Genesis is the first book in the King James Version, and the last book in the King James Version is the book of Revelation. You have to read, if you're a Christian, I encourage you to read the Bible 2 times over, from the book of Genesis to the book of Revelations. Again, I also encourage you to read the King James Version. I know there's a bunch of different versions of the Bible, but this is the King James Version is it's like a standard. I don't know. It's like the most typical Bible you can find and get. So I encourage you to get it. I don't know. You know, but Christianity is stupid. The Bible is filled with nonsense. It's filled with contradictions and so many other problems. Again, Bart D. Ehrman, look into who that guy is and research about his work. So that's Bart, B-A-R-T, D, the letter D, and then Ehrman, E-R-H-M-A-N, or I might have misspelled that. It should be on the screen, his actual name. Research about this guy.